1st through the 12th reading. I hope you guys are doing great. Okay, welcome back all subscribers and anyone new to my channel, welcome. Okay, if you like this, please like and subscribe. Let's get right in here and see what's going on in your energy for the beginning of June. Okay. Let's see what we've got going on here, Aquarius. Got all these retrogrades surrounding you. I know in April and May you've been feeling it. Feeling those retrogrades all around you. Okay, so in June you will have the Mercury Retrograde coming in. So it could be bringing back people from the past towards you. Either people you want to come back from the past, and sometimes people you don't want to see ever again, right, knocking on your door. Okay, miscommunications could start happening, all kinds of things going on. That'll start during the big month around the 17th. That will start retrograding, or be stationed and retrograded, not positive on exactly how that's going. Okay, and your energy of what you're thinking and feeling is the Death card. So it's like you're putting an end to something. Something is either lost, it's died, you put an end to it, or you're having a transformation. And it could be all in one, right? And let's see, over here with Oracle cards. Have mental conflict. Okay, so it feels like you still have some mental conflict going on. You could be between the 8 of Swords in your head and the 9 of Swords, right? Because mental conflict is both really those two cards put into one. So you are still maybe feeling the anxieties and it is keeping you up at night. You're still feeling a little bit of the pain coming around you. And, you know, the anxieties, sleepless nights, insomnia, anything like that. Okay, let's figure out why. Let's see exactly what's going on with you, Aquarius. Are you putting the mental conflict to rest with the Death card over here, or do you want to put it to rest? Do you want to transform out of this mental conflict? Let's see what's going on in the present. You have I know with the crown chakra. This is the present. And you have the Truth, partnerships and alliances. A lot of cards. Positive movement forward. Wow, it's giving us a lot here. And movement, choices, and decisions. 5 cards. Wow, that's a big one. You have something big going on here in the present. In the near past, you had suffering in silence. Accelerated motion. Solar plexus upside down. This is completely closed. You feel like you cannot have accelerated motion because you are stuck suffering in silence. So it is completely upside down. Having emotional withdrawal. So now we're seeing where that mental conflict is definitely taking place from the past coming into the present. Okay, so the waiting game in the near future, having patience, prosperity begins, and finally having full awareness of what is exactly going on around you. Okay, so starting over here in the past, we have the suffering in silence and with accelerated motion, but you're saying I cannot, because I cannot escape this emotional withdrawal or this suffering in silence. So I want to accelerate in motion, but I cannot, because this negative energy is keeping me down with that mental conflict. Okay, you have the Page of Swords, the 8 of Cups, the 5 of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the emotional withdrawal is almost like you're saying, I was fighting, and I'm not fighting anymore. I'm done. You've put me in emotional withdrawal. I do not want to fight anymore. So this is what you're saying in the past. There was past fighting. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just now going to emotionally withdraw. I'm withdrawing from this argument. I'm withdrawing from this fight, and I'm not doing this with you anymore. But it is a slow process. It's almost like someone wants to keep the arguing. They want to keep the fighting going, and you're telling them, you know, it's like you put up your white flag and you're like, I'm done. I'm done. Okay? This has gone on too long, and I am done. I do not want to put up with your deceitful behavior. I do not want to put up with your arguing. Okay, so yeah, I just really feel there's a white flag going on. Okay, so it's just, I'm so over this disagreement. I'm so over this fighting. Okay, if you feel that you're entitled to keep wanting to fight with me, go right ahead, but I'm done. I've had enough suffering in silence. I've had enough emotional damage from this, and I'm walking away. And that's exactly what you did with the Eight of Cups. You walked away, okay, from this disagreement. And it feels like it's a pretty heavy duty disagreement. It wasn't just some, you know, I disagreed on, you know, some color we painted the wall, right? It has, you know, it's not something like that. This was a heavy duty disagreement. And yeah, you're just like traveling away, right? Here you are traveling away from it. You're like, I'm done. I see the truth. I see where you're going with this, with the Page of Wands, or I'm sorry, Page of Swords. I see where you're going with this, and I don't want anything to do with this anymore. Okay? Maybe they even like emotionally damaged you by calling you names or, you know, I don't know, gossiping about you. I do know that last reading we had, there was a lot of gossip going on, so it kind of feels like this could be the same energy as the last reading for some of you, and it just feels like you are done. Yes, it's a slow moving process to get away from this, but it's almost kind of like, maybe because they're kind of like chasing you down in some ways, right? Are they chasing you down? It's like, I try to hide over here away from you, and you will not leave me alone. It's like you're following me everywhere I go. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm going to turn on this light over here. I'm noticing in the camera how dark it is. Let's see if that helps. Sometimes bringing on that dining room light helps. Yeah, so it almost feels like they're kind of following you around, yelling at you, right? And it's like, dude, will you stop following me? You know, I went into the bedroom and you followed me in there just to yell at me. So, yeah, I kind of feel like that kind of energy. Okay, so, and if you don't live with this person, maybe they just keep texting you the same thing over and over, right? And you're just like, okay, you know what? I just want to throw this phone, you know, into the toilet because, you know, oops, my phone broke, just to get away from you because you won't leave me alone. So that's really where this mental conflict is really coming from. They're just really driving it at you. It just feels like this driving force you cannot get away from, but you have walked away for, you know, for your own mental causes, right? For your own self. You're just like, I can't take this no more. So you're putting the death to this. This is like, I'm done. I'm transitioning. I'm taking a new start. I'm doing something different. I know the truth about this partnership and alliance. It could be a friend, an ex-friend, family member, lover. It doesn't have to be a lover. Okay. For a lot of you, I feel like it could have been an old friend. It just won't stop bugging you. Okay. For others of you, it could even be a parent, right? I told you. Okay, so yeah, but you have this positive movement forward and this movement in choices, right? So with the death card, you're saying, I'm taking this loss, I'm taking this transition away from you. I know the truth about what's going on, and I want to take the leap of faith and move on with better beginnings because I'm done. I know I don't want to be here anymore. I'm tired of the past, and I'm putting the past behind me. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're making new beginnings with the Ace of Pentacles, new fresh starts, new creative ideas, new things are happening for you, and you do not want to start dwelling into the past, and that's why you're putting the past behind you. You know, you're like, I'm done. You know, I'm going to find the stability, the mental stability, the emotional stability. I'm going to have, you know, get myself back to being stable. Okay, that way I can move to the next level. Okay, so, yeah. And you've really thought about this with the High Priestess, and that's that I know. As the High Priestess is over here, using the highest intuition, using that innate wisdom, saying, yeah, you know, I don't want to hear about any of this anymore. You've killed it. You've killed it. You probably even in the point to, you know, where you're like, it's so dead, I don't even want to hear it in my tarot anymore, right? Like, please, tarot reader, don't bring this up anymore because it really killed that, right? I mean, it's really that, you know, that serious, where it's like, this is the perception that you have that this time, this past time in your life is so dead, you know, you just really want it to disappear, is what I really, you know, really what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, because you're moving on to the sun. But there are still these red flags that keep throwing, you know, being thrown at your face. And I think the red flags are, you know, when somebody is doing something, and even though you moved away from it, doesn't mean that they moved away from that energy, right? So they're still trying to cause mental conflict with you, even though you buried it, right? You dug it a grave. You're moving past it. You transitioned past it. You grew past it. But yet here, you're all happy and, you know, and sunny, but then this red flag keeps coming out. And it's like, hello, I waved a white flag, but you're still sending out red flags. And that's probably because you still hear gossip about you. And you're just like, come on. Yeah. Because their ego is so high that they're not going to let it die. They're not going to let it die. They're still keeping it, you know, where you're escaping it with the Seven of Swords, they're still keeping it alive. They think that it's still the perfect timing to keep control of this situation and make sure that people understand exactly, you know, what the situation was. They have a problem, okay? They have a problem, and they want to keep you insecure. They want you to know that they won, okay? They want to know, you know, I won. And you're saying, nope, I've made the movement and choices and decisions to move past this relationship with positive new changes and beginnings. You're not going to keep me in my head forever. But the problem is as you're trying to move out of this energy and you have the realizations that they are keeping you in mental conflict, you still, you know, have some deep down mental insecurities about this, and that's only because they won't let it go. But you're trying so hard to stand your ground. It's like maybe consciously you're like, no, I'm strong and I don't, you know, this doesn't affect me. But they're gossiping, still gossiping. And you're like, no, this doesn't really affect me. But maybe, just maybe for some of you, deep down, subconsciously, deep down, where you don't want to admit it to other people, it affects you, right? We all have that. It's that outer strength that you're bringing out that's telling you, no, I'm totally fine. But then sometimes when you go to bed at night, it gives you kind of nightmares. It gives you kind of anxieties because it is actually working on a deeper level of you than that more, you know, shallow side of you, right? So it's like when you wake up in the morning and they're saying stuff, you're just like, yeah, whatever, so done with you. But then when you start resting and relaxing, you're realizing it's really taking a toll on your emotions, right? Because you just can't understand how somebody can hold on to something so deeply when it's probably something that doesn't even mean much, right? It doesn't even mean much. It's BS. They're holding on to something so stupid, okay? Yeah. You know, and they're over here gossiping and thinking they're having a good time talking crap about you, you know, and it's like, and they know they're getting your goat, you know, but you're not going to allow them to see that they're getting your goat because you put it into it. So you're trying to heal from this. You're trying to move forward. You're trying to find a balance because you know the ultimate truth, and the ultimate truth is they're an a-hole. Plain and simple. Emperor upside down. I can't say it any better. You know, try to be a good girl too and not use bad language. Took everything in the world not to say it, okay? But in seriousness, that's, you know, that's what it is. You know? And yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you're like, yeah, surely is. Okay? And that's just because they have their own insecurities. People who do stuff like this have their own problems. Everybody knows this, you know. And it's like almost me telling you that is, you know, kind of like telling you that, you know, the water in the ocean is salty, right? So, okay, so in the near future over here, you have the waiting, and you're patiently waiting. And what I really feel like you're patiently waiting for, now that we understand what's going on, is you're patiently waiting for these people to grow up. Grow up. Act like an adult. Be an adult. You know, and yeah, and you're waiting for them to move past this energy, moving past, find somewhere else to go, find somebody else to bug, find somebody else to go destroy, because that's all you want to do is fight, argue, talk crap to people, because you're not a real friend. And in fact, in some cases, some of you might even think this isn't even a real person. Right, because it takes a lot to be a real person, a real man, a real woman. You act like a child. Right, so you're waiting for them to move on patiently. You're just like, please leave me alone. Please look out somewhere else and just leave me alone. Because pretty much you're dead to me with the death card over here. You're waiting for their judgment. So it's like the judgment card is not only your card for your good, happy news of, wow, they haven't said nothing for a long time. I haven't heard nothing. And you're also waiting for their judgment to come to them. It's almost like you're waiting for karma to come back and say, hey, you know what? This is the way it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so you're like, okay, so we have this brand new start, with myself, and that's what this judgment's going to be. And I'm waiting for judgment to come in. And it's like I'm waiting for Lady Karma to come and take action, against them. And that's what it feels like, and I'm sorry, that's what the universe is saying. Universe is saying they're going to get theirs in the end. And we've seen this, I'm telling you, we just seen this. I think the last reading too. So you're still waiting for that judgment. You're still waiting for Lady Karma to come in. You're still waiting for, something to happen to where it's like the tables have turned. It's not always a good thing though, but it is what it is. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles, because this is going to make you feel more achieved. And your Lady Karma is also going to come in for you to give you the happy news, to let you know everything's done and over with. Their karma will do whatever it's going to do. They have to reap what they sow. And since you left and did everything good that you were supposed to do, you will also reap what you sow, right? So good, happy achievements are going to come to you because you put a stop to it. You didn't just continue to keep lingering in the same energy. You're not causing karmic debts. Because if you guys keep fighting together, you're just going to cause karmic chains between the two of you. Okay, so what's that mean? Okay. I mean, I have so many of these questions, and I'm starting to try to bring them to light for you. People are writing me and asking me, how do I break these karmic chains? How do these things get started? This is how they get started. By somebody, you guys just keep lingering around and keeping that energy going and going and going. What do you think is going to happen? Everybody's so worried about the past, life, soulmates and all this stuff. But what's going to happen, in past life karmic debts? So you die, say you die tomorrow. Well, you're going to come back. And now you have to repeat, right, your karmic debts with the same person. They just have a different name. You have a different name, right? Until you can grow past those and not have them, right? And you can get rid of that person. So, okay, so yeah. I mean, do you really want to run into Joe again? And, in your next life, and his name would be Bobby or something, right? Okay, well, listen. That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, trying to break those karmic chains, and that's what they're saying. You're reaping karmic rewards. Whatever they do, that's their problem. Okay? That's their problem. That just becomes karmic debt on them if they can't, forgive, forget, forget about it. Okay? I mean, let's just forget about it. Okay? So, anyways, moving past that, you're moving past that with the Chariot. So, yeah, the Chariot is like, okay, let's get past all of this. We're not going to move towards this anymore. You're moving away from that negative energy into positive energy with the 10 of Pentacles. So everything you're doing is now on the positive note. Okay? Everything you're doing is with passion, and you know it because you're moving towards the prosperity begins. You're moving towards better relationships with people, meeting new friends, doing better things, going to work and making that money, having better days, right? Just having better days, moving away from mental conflict. King of Cups, maybe you were dealing with a Pisces, Scorpio, again, Pisces, Scorpio, or a Cancer. Okay, there's a lot of Cancer up here. So a lot of you are dealing with a Cancer. It doesn't have to be. Okay, there's also a lot of Earth, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo up here as well. And yeah, it's like you have the awareness that there is hope and you don't need to deal with this anymore. And it's almost like with the Page of Wands, you're going to go out. You have other friends that you can deal with. You have other associates you can do. You have other plans that you're planning to do. Okay, so that you don't have to deal with this situation anymore. There's definitely other people who are surrounding you with the Three of Pentacles. Because this relationship, whatever it was, job, whatever it was just a burden, and you're just so over it. Okay, so in the near future, you're just over it. It's done. It's like it's done now. It's done and dead. So somewhere between mid-month June to could be July or August, this is totally going to 100% die. Just all of a sudden will just stop. I don't know why people want to hang on to these things for so long. It's like high school kids. But, but it does seem like, that's kind of their energy. So, yeah, overall card to go with the mental conflict is triumph for the near future. Definitely triumphing over this. You're going to feel like you have victory in the end. And that's because you've taken the initiative to just kill it. And now you're going to transform into somebody who's like, you know what? I'm bettering myself and I don't need any of this. I'm the better person. Okay, so the angels say abundance. Abundance is coming your way. I've seen it over here in the near future with the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, and forgiveness. Okay, here's that thing again. People are telling me, how do I forgive somebody? Oh my goodness. How do I forgive somebody who's destroyed my life? Well, how is the universe going to forgive you when you do something? And it doesn't matter how heinous it is. If it is sin against someone else, or it is not good, how is the universe going to forgive you if you cannot forgive someone else? Think about that. Do you want the karmic debt? How are you going to be forgiven? You have to think of it like that because that's the way the universe thinks. And a lot of things you have to understand are not weighed in a handbasket. I tell my children this all the time. It doesn't matter that he hit you in the arm when you called him a bad name. You both forgive each other, okay? Because if you don't, you make karmic debts, It's not like God said, oh, hitting was way worse than you calling him, something bad. You don't want to know what it is, okay? Because my children are boys, and they have, they say nasty things, okay? Things that we don't want to say. But yeah, and it's like, so you called him this, and then he smacked you in the arm. How am I going to weigh that in a basket? They're both in trouble, right? So it doesn't matter. It's not like, unless you killed someone, okay? If we're killing somebody or something, then this is a little different, okay? But in seriousness, the universe cannot forgive you if you do not ask for forgiveness of that person. You forgive, but you don't forget. That is the reasons why. So for those of you who have been asking me that, that is your answer, okay? Beginnings. Your soul says, I cherish all the cycles of my life, and this is exactly what you're doing. You're giving yourself new beginnings. Once you start forgiveness, you can have the ultimate beginning. This is what your soul says, and this is what the angels say. Spirit, universe. Okay? So yes, once you start the forgiveness process, your beginnings will become even better, because that's when the karmic becomes so much better, because your karmic cycle becomes what? A good karmic cycle. You get angel points. right? You start getting what you need. There is negative karma and positive karma. Okay, we're talking about the positive karma. So you're now getting what you need. And what you need will then be what? The abundance. And abundance comes in so many different forms. Okay. And to get there, you can use for healing processes, since it looks like you're doing some healing here in the present to get through this with your mental conflict. Some of you can use crystals. Some of you use gemstones. You can use them for connections of crystals and gemstones to channel a healing energy. For those of you who use gems. Okay. And for others of you, music. Yeah, music's always just so good for the soul. And many signs enjoy music, of course. So music is very healing for just about anyone. Okay. So yes, it helps the healing of yourself, because when you're listening to music, it doesn't even matter what kind of music, it releases tension. I mean, even if you're listening to like Five Finger Death Punch, people are like, it could make you angry. No, actually, for those who have anger, it actually releases the anger. So sometimes if you're really, really, really mad, listening to harder music actually releases more. Why? Because it brings that fierceness out of you, and then it pushes it right out, right? And that's why some people, you like your heavy, rap or whatever. I don't know. And, but I'm just saying, whatever music that you use to release, everybody has their own, okay, is very healthy. Okay? And for your angel romance cards, it's you deserve love. There's a separation from this person, definitely. Okay. And it's just time to start to get out of mental conflict. You can start becoming a little more playful. Okay, get out, have a little fun. Will also relieve tension. Okay. Especially being in this isolation period, it's probably time for all of us to try to get out and have some fun. Go to the beach. Do something if you can, right? So, and for some of you, it's just healing family issues. It's actually family. Okay, so otherwise I don't see anything else. Okay, and that's your reading for the beginning of June, and I will see you guys next time. And if you're needing more healing and growth and spiritual growth and all of that, and breaking chains of karma, don't forget to watch the chakra readings. Okay, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.